Welcome back, Benchwarmers. We made it through week 1 of the NFL season. Now, there are some great games this week, but we're here to talk about our fantasy team?
No, my fantasy team.
Okay, Nando's fantasy team. But let's see how week 1 went for the Blueprint. I'm Corey, Blueprint Assistant GM.
I'm Nando, the unfinished blueprint, now 0-1.
And I'm Brendan, just happy football's back. And this is RV from the Bench. Before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes.
Also, if you could please do us the favor, if you like what you see or hear, please don't forget to smash that like button.
Smash it for us. Come on, smash it. It's free. It's free for you. It's free for us. Helps out the channel a lot more than you probably think. All right, Nando. Well, I would say this is a nice welcome to fantasy football. You know what? And some people may say that this is maybe the best way to start, so you don't get your hopes up thinking, I'm undefeated. I'm untouchable. You know, maybe start with a little humility here. You did go up against the highest scorer in your league, so that doesn't help. But how do you feel after 1 week of playing this fantasy game?
And I'm on top still. I'm still ready to win.
That's right. We still have a
Ain't no one
chance.
getting past me except for who's that?
Yeah, except for the guy that did this week.
Yeah.
But, you know, when we're looking at the teams, it was a little bit lopsided. You know, he had some big ones who had some big stuff this week. Corey, I mean, you've looked at it a little bit. What kind of advice as a first week loss would you give our player here?
Well, it's not really advice for him. It's more so just like, sometimes the week 1, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the Bengals lost to the Patriots. Who would have thought that? So Burrow did nothing.
Shout out Jay.
Yeah, there's nobody that was going to pick that. Not that it's a total shock Devontae Adams didn't have a ton of yards, but I expected at least a touchdown. But Gardner Minshew apparently forgot to throw the ball to his own guys. So that was rough to watch. But overall, like, this team, I mean, Njoku got hurt, so he left the game. That's the other one. But other than that, like, McPherson got you 9 points, 11 from Cook, 13 from Kyron Williams, or 12, I'm sorry. Yeah, 13. I mean, it's overall solid, just the quarterback position and Devontae Adams at the top, and then the other guy just going on. I mean, Mahomes and Brown and Wilson and Barkley. And there's a lot on that offense. And like you said, the highest scoring one of the week, so that doesn't help.
Exactly. So if it's on, I think it's on the screen now. You can see a little bit of a rundown. Corey kind of hit some of the high points there, or I guess maybe some of the low points for us and high points for the other team. But again, it counts as 0-1. If you lose by 100 or you lose by 1, it's just one game. So I think, like you said, some of the big players on their team, the Saquons, there's basically the whole Eagles squad. I mean, gosh, the Eagles offense knows how to score, though. So playing down in Brazil against the Packers team, whose goal was to just outscore the Eagles, is kind of a blueprint for disaster. As far as, if you don't have the Eagles on your squad. And Nando, anybody that you had a feeling maybe you shouldn't have played that, maybe we went with and you're regretting?
Honestly, the only person I didn't hear you say initially to not play Joe Burrow, but the moment I saw them walk on the field and my brother called me, I said, it's not him. It's not him today.
Dang it.
and I know the game started, so I didn't have the opportunity to switch. I could have switched someone else. I was thinking about switching Christian Watson for someone just for those extra points, which I thought we were going to get because I saw how Green Bay was. I was just listening to you guys, listening how Green Bay is, no one's picking them up and how they have a good offense. I was like, okay, maybe Christian Watson will get some points. And then I did it too late. I had a chance to. I did have a chance.
And Jordan Love decided to throw it to Jalen Reed, or is it Reed? I forgot his first name, but Reed a lot too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That didn't help.
You talked about how you had Stafford and might have played, but that's still you would have lost. Stafford didn't have enough points to make it.
Oh yeah,
a difference in the final score. So don't feel bad about it. It's one loss. It's 1 week. We got 14 more of these things to go.
Yeah, and we're hoping that because obviously since we played this guy week 1, we're going to play him again in the season. A 10 league format or 10 team format league will do that. We're just hoping maybe the Eagles are on a bye week that week, or they play someone really difficult. I don't know, because that's not going to be fun. Just watching Saquon and AJ go off again. But that's okay. We're hoping that some of our players who we've, Kyron Williams, they had a good game, but Detroit's a good team. He scored one of the only 2 touchdowns of the game, so there's that. He's their lead back clearly, and I think that offense is going to get me a win. So we have some pieces. I think the biggest one is we really need Devontae to be Devontae. Yeah. The problem is someone's got to get him the damn ball.
I think the
that does pose a little bit of a problem.
I think the field actually had more receives than Devontae Adams did after Gardner Minshew made some misplays.
Ouch, that's rough. You know what, for somebody who's new watching football, that's a pretty good burn. The field had more receptions than Devontae. That's that's a pretty good burn for someone who's just learning football. That's a good one. All right, so obviously week 1, a little bit of a disaster. But that's the cool thing about fantasy is basically on to the next week, just like regular football. On to what did Bill say? We're on to the Bengals or on to the Browns or whatever. Moving on to the Browns.
Whoever
So
the
that's
next
what we're doing.
schedule is, we're moving on. We've already let this one behind us. We're moving on to the next one.
Exactly. So Nando, Corey, and I did some digging last night, a little bit today. And we've had it's a little bit of large list of waiver wires, but again, we're starting a little bit behind the 8 ball here, being that Nando was just picking people he randomly knew. So we're trying to kind of cover up. We look like we're a little short on receivers. We're trying to kind of get that. We have a lot of good running backs, but obviously you can't play him in the receiver spot. So up on the screen here, you'll see is our waiver wire pickups that we're looking for this week. Now, me personally, I like a league with no waiver wire. I like it for benefiting the people who are paying attention. You can pick them up right away. But that's not what we're dealing with. So on the screen here is the waiver wire here. I'm going to start with you, Nando. Just looking at, I know you're still new, you're still looking at these things, but we've talked about it. Is there anybody that you see from the waiver wire that you picked up that you're like maybe most excited about to try to get on your team here? Who's the biggest ad that you're happy for? Yeah.
Well, I was for sure happy to drop McPherson. Only since the Bengals started off really rough. I made a huge complaint to a huge Bengals fan about their team, and the response was rough start. So I'm just hoping that wasn't true and that my choice was right there. And then hoping that Joe Burrow actually makes a come up in the next few games and we can switch him out for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, McPherson didn't do terrible, 9 points, right? And that's really what you're going to get out. You're not going to get the 26 points out of Chris Boswell each week. But the reason why we're kind of running with it, Corey, and maybe you can add on to it after I ask you, is because the Steelers' offense, while they do move the ball, they seem to have trouble moving it all the way to the painted area of the field. So they're only really left with kicking field goals. Corey, add a little bit to what I'm talking about with Boswell. And which one of these pickups do you think is probably the biggest for us going forward?
Yeah, Boswell, you're right on. It's basically Justin Fields that was in Chicago last year. It was the same situation. They would get a little bit thing going, maybe score a touchdown here or there, but for the most part, get down near the red zone area and kind of run out of plays to try to get in there and go to field goals. So if we're looking at that point, and who knows what the Bengals are going to be like in the next couple of weeks, I guess it's worth a shot to take Boswell instead. As far as the other moves that we were trying to make here, I think the big one could be, but I don't know what's going to happen for us, would be the Jordan Mason after McCaffrey night and him going off and him being able to kind of fill that void. And I know they only said it's a couple weeks for McCaffrey, but anytime somebody comes into a season with a lower leg injury, calf, or anything like that, you never know how long it's going to linger, especially as a running back who he does a lot of things for them. So I think that would be the biggest one if it is able to drop down to us. We'll just have to see.
Yeah. Another thing to add to your point about Christian McCaffrey is he's, has a history of injuries. So most of them were in Carolina because he was, I think, the only player that anybody knew on that entire team besides maybe Luke Kuechly on the other side. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he was just run through the ground and he was hurt all the time. So a little bit, kind of iffy seeing him not be available for week 1. But they knew it a while ago. I don't know if you saw the injury. The report after the game, they had an interview with Mason, and they asked him when he knew. He knew Friday that he was going to be starting.
Okay.
So they just announced it today, obviously to kind of keep the Jets off, so that way they could game plan, accordingly. Yes. But apparently he knew Friday, so it's kind of been known around San Fran camp that he wasn't going to be playing this week for a couple days now. Not great. So yeah, hoping that we can grab that pick for sure. I think I'm most excited because I think we need freaking receiver help. Is probably McConkey or Lazard. McConkey, small little slot receiver dude that Justin Herbert can just randomly find all over the place. And Alan Lazard has that rapport with Aaron Rodgers. Got 2 touchdowns tonight, one with and one without Aaron after they sat him when the game was over. So hoping we get some receiver help. Might have to sit Devontae a couple weeks if that happens because next week it's at Baltimore. Oof.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that one could be rough. Before we move into week 2, We want to take another break here. Corey, I'll leave it to you.
Yeah, so we haven't done it in a while, but want to do another Corey's Mental Health Minute. It is September, which is National Suicide Prevention Month. So I just want to let everybody know that if you know anyone out there or if you're having any issues, that you are not alone. No matter how hard things get, there's always someone to talk to. So you can visit lockandtalk.com. They have different resources and things to help with healing and also empower the community of people that need help and are trying to get help with their mental health stuff.
I like that. Thank you. Yeah, it's that's a really sad thing. We talk about mental health a lot. We talk about depression and sad things, but obviously September being Suicide Prevention Month, that's the last level kind of thing when you've just found that there's nothing else left. But there are people out there. As a person of faith, I would suggest maybe open in the Bible, visit a church, a local church. Hopefully you can find something because I know Jesus is also there for you. But in the meantime, like Corey mentioned, lockandtalk.com. There's plenty of other things out there too. Even if you just Google suicide helpline, there's a phone number that will pop up right there for you. Just talk to somebody. You're worth it. Please stay. Nando, you want to add anything, bud? I don't know if you know anybody, or I know you're in high school. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on, or you just graduated. Sorry, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now, especially with all these kids. Anything you want to add, man?
Yeah, I mean, just there's for sure always someone to talk to, like we've stated already. Even when you feel at your lowest, there's someone that can bring you to your highs. So just try to find that person.
Agree. And you know what? Hit us up in the comments. Message us on Instagram. We'll be your friend, man. We'll listen. If you ain't got anybody, the bench is here for you. The bench is here for you. So thank you, Corey, for giving us another mental health minute.
Absolutely, anytime.
Okay, let's finish up the episode by showing what week 2 will bring. We're going to throw the matchup on the board here. You should see it if you're watching the YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify, go check out YouTube. We got some stuff there. Make some pretty things for you. You could see our handsome faces. All the fun things. Go check us out on YouTube. I mean, we appreciate you on Spotify.
Hold on. Why is Nando laughing at the pretty faces?
Yeah, what's wrong with the pretty face? You don't agree?
There's only one pretty face here, guys, and it's me.
Oh, so. Wow. Okay. All right.
All right. Yeah, but check us out on YouTube if you haven't. Anyways, on the screen here, you'll see what matchup is for week 2. I think we might have a little bit better of opportunity here. It's not over completely. And we have some opportunity to pick up some people that we might not be. But if you look here initially, now, granted, this person's we're projected to win now because they've got Christian McCaffrey in their starting lineup. I'm hoping that we can take Jordan Mason and that he doesn't get him. Oh. But other than that, I think we still have a fighting chance against this one. I'm looking at some of the projections for the other people on his team, and none of them are in double digits. This is a fantastic start. So looks like he's completely relying on Christian McCaffrey, and I think that might bode well for us. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't know how Kirk Cousins is going to look. He did not look good yesterday agast Pittsburgh, so who knows?
Philly's no slump at defense either.
I'll say on a Monday night game that does not help, and I know with the whole Kirk Cousins.
Oh, Kirk!
This is not a good thing in the
prime time. Yep.
DeAndre Hopkins is, as much as I am a Titan fan, they looked terrible yesterday on offense, and he didn't do a whole lot. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think you're right. If he doesn't get somebody to really replace McCaffrey, hopefully not Mason, then I think we got a really good shot. I think Stafford's, against Arizona should be better.
Mm-hmm.
Waddle, Buffalo, but they're in at Miami instead of at Buffalo, so that helps.
That helps.
The weather has cooled down too much up there yet, but no, overall, I think we're in a better spot, at least matchup wise. But also, like you mentioned, we still have waiver claims we're waiting on, so this roster that we have projected could change by the time Thursday's games actually go.
Yeah, agreed. Nando, who is this that you're playing? Do we need to beat them? And what do you think of your odds this week?
Who are we playing? This guy named Patrick's Peerless Team. I have zero clue who he is, and my brother just went up against him.
Okay.
And with how CMC just did, and how he's out right now is going to be even better for me. We're going to beat him.
You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now, I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. Hell yeah. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. Hell yeah. That's a team, gentlemen. Hell yeah. And either we heal now as a team, or we will die as individuals. That's football, guys. That's all it is. Now, what are you gonna do?
Pretty
Yes,
confident in
that's
that.
right.
Right, there we go.
I like it.
Especially
I like
with
the
this,
confidence.
we're all our waivers right now. It's going to be a big difference in players. So I feel for sure we have a fantastic chance at winning this time. Even if it's close, we're gonna win.
All right. Dude, this
All
is the
right.
fire I like, Nando. I like to hear it. I like to hear it. You're learning how to break it down. You're seeing that the only real opponent is Christian. Yeah, he's out. Dude, how sick would it be if we got the freaking backup and then rubbed it in his face?
That would be the best thing ever.
I love it when that happens. I've had a couple times where some big running back or some big receiver goes down and I pick up the backup and I happen to be playing that guy this week and ooh, is it fun? Is it fun? So I'm hoping that is something that we might be able to steal here. Any final thoughts before we wrap up? Nando, I'll start with you.
My brother has for sure given me a lot of crap for listening to your guys' advice, just
Yeah.
because he had a really good strong start.
Well, 1 week. We'll see how it continues. I'm hoping that we can kind of fix it.
Marathon, not a sprint, man. Come on.
Exactly. This isn't the 100. This is the marathon. To your point. Well, appreciate everybody for stopping by. Let us know in the comments below. Are we doomed already? Or should we just relax? RELAX. Relax. It's only week one. How'd you do with your fantasy team? Are you starting 0-1 like us? Or are you starting 1-0? Let us know down in the comments below. Drop us who your biggest player was for the week. If you got Saquon, we know how that feels to be against you. So appreciate everybody for stopping by. Thank you as always for seeing things from our view from the bench. I'm Brendan.
And I'm Corey. Like we always say, enjoy the sports until we talk again.
Peace.
Love and positivity.
This was a Sycamore 4th Studios production.